joining us today on the Higher Learning Network. We're streaming live on ustream.com as well as on Facebook, HLN TV show, and Twitter at the Higher Learning Network TV show. Thank you for joining us today. I'm your host. And my guest today is someone I've been trying to get on the show for a very long time. So call a friend and let them know that the Higher Learning Network show is on today, because I have the #1 publisher in the city of Chicago. She's more than just a publisher. She is the founder and publisher of Nawar Woman News, the Nawar Woman Ad Network, Digital Diva 2.0, and last but never least, Aptly Mobile. Dee Daniels, welcome to the show.
Thank you. All that just means I'm busy, right?
You're busy. I'm like, when do you sleep, girl?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, I think
not a lot.
we learned back in the day in radio that you don't get a lot of sleep. So I think that just transferred over to your skills.
That's right. We just work all the time, right?
And our relationship goes way back a long, long time. I won't say what year it is, but we worked at a couple of radio stations together.
Yeah.
I think we started out at WJPC. I know you all don't remember that. Johnson Publishing Company,
Right.
WJPC, Another
WJPC.
Strong Song, as well as we also produced the Denise Jordan Walker show together.
Right. Denise
Forget about
Jordan
that?
Walker, and then I was with Dean Richards for a minute at WNUA. Yeah.
So we've got some history here. So radio, and now we've moved on to television.
Right.
So
Radio, television, publishing, technology, right?
okay.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I like most about all the things that you do, because you know I'm a writer by heart.
Right.
So I had the opportunity to continue to express my first love, which is writing under Inspirational Conversations. I know you probably remember that from the Troy Tyler show on V103. Hi, Troy.
Hi, Troy.
And so Inspirational Conversations is not only on radio, but on television as
Right.
well as print.
Right. Right.
And so how did that come about, Nawar Woman News, and it has led all the way up to today's subject, which is mobile media.
Oh, man. Right. Well, you know, for me, I think Nawar Woman was kind of like a natural transition for me, because I was actually working at the Chicago Tribune, and I was a journalist there. I wanted to have my own publication. I wanted to do something to focus on African American women. At the time, there was not an African American women's publication, and I thought, okay, well, start one, you know, just do it. And I put my first issue out, I think it was like in '06 or so, and there was this woman named Michelle Obama, who I said, well, you know, maybe I'll put her on my first cover. And
we didn't know she'd be who we didn't know that she'd eventually be the first lady of the United States of America.
We were
had no
admiring
idea.
her in the gym at that time, because I was a
Yes.
dropout. We were working out with Cornell, and
Right.
she was the only one dedicated there
Right.
at like 5 a.m. And we're just looking at her like, oh,
Okay.
seriously?
It's like, and my first question is, why is Michelle Obama even here? She's tall and thin. Why is she working out? She's already got the body.
I know, but she was really good. And actually, a friend of mine, Julian Green, who was at that time Barack's press secretary, had ended up setting up that meeting, and I got a chance to go to their home in Hyde Park, and she was my first interview. So.
And you know I'm still going to hurt you, because you were supposed to call me, and I was supposed to bring the camera, and we were supposed to film that. But I understand there were some things that were said that is not available to the general public. So that's the only thing that got you off the hook.
I know. So, but we did get that. So that was actually the first interview that I did, and we continued on, and then of course, as you know, things change, and you know, the industry started to change a little bit with publications. For me coming out kind of at the wrong time, because I was coming out as things were about to make big changes. Transition. But there were advantages to that, because I was not so, you know, indebted into print, that it allowed me to kind of really look at the company and see what direction that I could take it in that would be more innovative. And that's when I turned more of my focus towards technology. So, you know, the first move was putting NawarWoman.com online. It's just a publication online. But then from that point, I looked at, okay, you can't really monetize a print publication, you know, one publication online. And I wanted to look at what could I do big. And so the next thing was for me to team up with a group of developers out in Silicon Valley and create what we call a vertical advertising network platform, which is how Noir Woman Ad Network came to be. So that was my first endeavor in technology.
That you could make money off of.
That you could make
Right.
money off, because now, as an ad network, we were able to bring in quite a few publishing partners and then go to an agency and just sell, thousands of page views versus just the limited number that my magazine had. So it became more of about a group effort and not just my single brand.
There's power in numbers.
Power in numbers, exactly. Yeah.
And as women, we have a tendency to try to do it all ourselves, and it's just not. I mean, the Wonder Woman Woman syndrome, that's over with.
Absolutely. But I think for me too, one of the reasons I wanted to just really endeavor more into technology, because I understood, there were not a lot of women that owned platforms. So and then again, being an African American woman, that was like a whole nother thing. So I wanted to make sure, that there was some imprint that I could, leave behind in terms of creating that type of presence online.
Now, as founder, you've graduated from the War Woman News, the War Woman Ad Network, and now the last seminar that I went to was the Digital Diva 2.0. Tell our viewing audience a little bit about that and how that came to be.
Well, Digital Diva 2.0 came to be because as a woman myself here in technology, I would go out to all the different events, and I always noticed I may have been one of maybe 2 to 3 women in the room.
It's a man thing.
It's just, it's kind of like a guy's thing there. Yeah. So I was like, wow, there's got to be more women here in Chicago that are in technology. And, I need to be able to bring these women together and maybe, make available like resources, and also allow them, to be able to network and showcase, some of the projects that they have. So I ended up January launching Digital Diva 2.0. See a problem, fix it. That's what I just did do. I create a company. So, so I launched Digital Diva 2.0. And our first event was, I think February was our first event. We had 60 women there, and it was just all kinds of amazing women with startups, all types of tech startups here. And we showcased them in a panel-like format and allowed them to, engage with the audience. So it's really, really great.
That's a lot of women from going to an event where there's nothing there but men, and then you as a female have an event and all these women. You said 60 women showed
and that
up?
was just the first. That was our first event, and we've had just like my current database is like 100 and something women in our email database, and we've only been up maybe like a few months.
Wow, and these are women in technology, so the numbers are growing by the day, by the month.
They're growing, and what we did when I started Digital Diva 2.0, it really is in 2 parts. There's the website, which is digitaldiva20.com, and on the website we do like news articles, and we write about women founders and startups. And then I took it a step further by creating the monthly networking events in order to be able to have some live interaction with the women. Okay. So it's really pretty cool.
Okay, so as a result of Digital Diva 2.0, I hear some mobile media in there, some social media in there somewhere. So how did that come about?
Well, I think anytime you're involved in technology, you kind of look at where the new curve goes. And everything changes over time, and right now we're kind of like at that curve with mobile media. And what a lot of people don't realize about mobile is that it's extremely important for businesses, because when you think about how people communicate and how they do things right now, everything is done on a mobile handset, whether it's an iPhone, a Droid, or whatever type of phone you have. Everything is being done from checking your emails to surfing the internet. Downloading apps. And so if you don't have a business that is mobile ready, you are missing opportunities for new business.
Yes, you are. Because we get, at the Higher Learning Network, we send out a newsletter, Inspirational Conversations, a newsletter of information as well as inspiration. And we get reports back after the newsletter goes out. It launches, and we get the report, and it says how many people clicked, how many people followed through. And I noticed there's been a decline So I got together with the board, and we're trying to figure out why that is. And the solution is because everybody's going mobile. And that's what I sent on Facebook and Twitter today, is that if you're online, you're not necessarily sitting at your desk at a computer. You're
Desktop
on your
work.
mobile phone.
And that is why, we kind of geared ourselves to creating the mobile company, because here in Chicago, Chicago is still new tech-wise. I mean, it's really, really growing with some, large companies here that have kind of paved the way, like Groupon and some of the others. But when it comes to the mobile revolution, it has not really hit the small business person. And so for me, my focus is to work with small businesses to make sure that they understand, the need to have a mobile website, because a lot of times people will view your website online much differently than on your phone. I mean, there's a huge screen difference.
There's a good example. Keith just put up the mobile app for the Higher Learning
Right.
Network. Now on there you can see, I don't have my glasses on, but keep it up there for a minute, Keith. I'm going to put my glasses on. It says, oh, duh. In the upper left-hand corner, it has where you can watch the videos. You can click on the resources. Then there's another icon for TV, radio, print, and then there's another one to contact us.
Well, now that's your application. But now, like, your mobile website is really just your regular website, but
Right.
it's condensed down so that it shows appropriately in a cell phone. Because a lot of times, if you look at a site sometimes and it's if they don't have a mobile website, it'll be really difficult to figure out how to navigate the site. But what they do is kind of like resize their website and make it so that it fits perfectly in a mobile. So
Okay.
that's what I mean about the mobile website.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And so that's a little bit different. And then your app, which we're talking about here, is another thing. There's tons of companies that have apps, but they work for almost any business. For example, let's say if you had a restaurant, there's different applications that you can add to your app, such as Open Table, which allows you to make reservations
Right. I've heard of
right
that,
through your
yeah.
cell phone.
I just found out about that. yeah.
Exactly. If you're, a doctor's office, your clients can actually make an appointment right through the app. So it's really offering convenience,
Very
to the
much,
consumer.
yes.
And if you're not doing it, you're missing out because somebody else is going to.
Right. And I didn't know until the young man who developed our app, our app, apply.com. I didn't know that until he explained that to me. And so I'm thinking to myself, how are you going to get all that information, all those videos? Because we stream live on ustream.com. And
Right.
so how are you going to get, how are you going to make all of that compact? So he just explained it to me the way that you did. It's like,
So he put it on your website. Is it on your website? And then every time you change your website, it automatically changes.
it automatically changes. I was
Exactly.
like, wow.
It updates automatically.
How cool is
Yeah.
that?
Exactly.
That's technology, and we live in an age where we came up the old-fashioned way. Yes, I still write with pen and paper, and
Right.
somebody's always reminding me, well, you can do it on your cell phone. And I was like, but I'm kind of attached to the pen and paper.
Exactly.
So it's a challenge every day for me because I have a love affair with pen and paper. It's just
Well, I do too. I think as a writer, I think that's a part of you that you'll always have, which I do too. And I mean, sometimes I'll just write, with the pad versus even typing. But I think what I try to tell people is to figure out how to take the traditional, and mix it with technology in order to, create your own little way of doing things.
So how do you mix traditional with modern technology?
Well, I think in terms of the mobile revolution, it's certain things are tradition in terms of marketing anyway. So this is just like an extension of your marketing plan.
Okay.
So this is something else that you need to add, put that in your marketing budget, that you must have an app, you must have a mobile website. You may want to have a Q&R code. If you're a realtor, somebody drives by and they see your sign out there, they can go scan that code, that Q&R code, and then it tells them everything about that property. But
Oh.
that's what gives you an advantage over maybe somebody